Hari Om. Bhadram karnevi shrunuyama devaha. Bhadram pasya maksabhiryajatraha. Sthirairangai stushtumagum swastanubhihi. Vasema devahitam yadayuhu. Swasti na indro vriddhasravaha. Swasti na pusha vishvavedaha. Swasti nastakshto arishtanemihi. Swasti no brihaspatir dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Namaste to everybody. Respected Dean, Sri Dean Sir, Dr. Siddhar, and other guests and faculty members, and dear students. First, I apologize for my delay. I was supposed to arrive at 3 o'clock. Somehow I had another program. So, today is a special day, and I want to share one news with you. Today in Netherlands, one statue of Swami Ajatnanda is being unveiled. This is the relevance of Swami Ajatnanda nowadays. And one very popular book by Ruth Harris, an American journalist, Swami Ajatnanda, the Guru to the World. Now it has become a bestseller. So you can go through that. Anyway, why Swami Ajatnanda? So I'll just touch few points. I want just one incident in Swamiji's life. When he was in Balloon Mutt, in his room, that Encyclopedia Britannica, 10 volumes were there in his almirah, big volumes, and then his the Sarat Chandra Chakravarti, his disciple. The one day he visited Swami Vivekananda's room, and he told, seeing these big volumes, that I think in one life one cannot complete all these volumes. And Swamiji just smiled and said, what do you say? I completed all the 9 volumes and reading the 10th. And you may ask any question from the 9 volumes. Then he asked, and Swami Vivekananda, he not only answered, in some places he quoted the exact lines and also the page numbers also. But how is it possible? As this Sarachandra was astonished, many such astonishing the occasions and phenomena happened in Swamiji's life. I don't want to tell all these things due to paucity of time. There are many such occasions. That tremendous power of focus and concentration by which Swamiji could grasp anything and everything. So, in today's scenario, the greatest problem is concentration, the level of concentration. Because the Swamiji says that concentration is the key to all knowledge. This is the only key to all the knowledge. And the difference between an ordinary person and a great person is nothing but the difference in the degree of concentration, what Swami Vivekananda says. And really, our quality of life also depends how much we can concentrate, and obviously on what we concentrate. Recently, the European psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, he has written one book called flow. And he has worked for just 20 years in this field of concentration and how to develop this concentration and how to harness from this. And what we say, the art of living is nothing but how much we can manifest our inner qualities, the tremendous potentiality which human beings have through this power of concentration. So in his book, he just termed one thing, flow, and scientifically he analyzed the method of concentration. There is a long and psychological analysis about concentration, power of mind in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. This is our age-old traditions. But the young generation, they don't like the Indian cultures and the age-old things. So I want to share with the modern views. Though that Csikszentmihalyi Mihai, he refers to Patanjali Yoga Sutra and he has learned a lot of things from that. So he tells that we have 126 bit per second, means there are 126 the units. Suppose there are 126 units per second, we can use that unit through our attention. Suppose somebody is reading one book, at the same time he is listening to music and watching something intermittently. So he says that some part of that unit, total 126 unit, maybe 40 bit per second we are using for study, that 30 bit per second we are using for the other things, 40 for other things. So in that way, all our attention is deviated and distracted, and the level of concentration decrease in that way. The most of the students, they think that reading continuously and focusing on a single matter is boring. So it's better to read at the same time, listen something, and after some few minutes take a break. And especially nowadays these mobiles, and there is a term that intermittent attention. This term has become very popular nowadays. Means the class is going on, in the middle of the class somebody is just busy with Google. Maybe he is searching whatever is taught here, but his attention is diverted. And in that way, unknowingly, the faculty of attention is decreased, and we are falling prey to that. We are falling prey to what nowadays is called as attention economy. Those great engineers in Silicon Valley and other places, they are continuously researching on that, how they can encash your attention. Suppose our mobile is there, we are studying very seriously, and one message comes, and that sound click. And the recent the report says that for 1 second we just have a look there, and it takes 12 minutes to again regain that level of concentration. The recent report says that we think just for 1 second, if I just look, it will be no harm. But it takes 12 minutes to get that previous the condition of concentration in what level we were. So now what is the way out? We have that talent, everybody has the talent, but somehow we are not being able to harness. A general and normally a normal boy or girl or person in 24 hours in our waking state, we have the 60,000 different variety of thoughts. The difference between a yogi and a common people is this number of thoughts. A yogi, he has very less number of thoughts, and that thought continues for a long time. Concentration is nothing but to hold our attention to a particular thing for a long time and cutting off from all other thoughts. So we all have that capacity. He says that the Mihai, Csikszentmihalyi Mihai, that the two conditions are there. There may be our challenge is more than our capacity. Maybe the task in front of us, what we are going to do, is very tough and we are not at all interested. Then the challenge, the task is more than our capacity, then we cannot concentrate or focus. And the reverse also true. If it is very much easy, at that time also we don't feel like focusing in it. And he gives an example like when a person starts playing tennis. So at the beginning it is very challenging for him to just give him the service, to serve, to return the serve. But when it becomes easier, by practice, then he should play a match to get involved into it. Otherwise, just to returning the service will be boring for him. So, if our task is very high, then we should make it smaller and segments and address that task. And what Swami Vivekananda says about this, he says that do all the work in whatever fullest attention you can do. Not only study. Suppose you are going home with you are just riding a bike, or you are talking to friends with chit chat. Just any work, you are in the morning, you are just brushing. So every work, whatever we do, we should do with fullest the attention. This training of attention is very, very important. Suppose we let our mind go the whole day. We go to cinema hall, we go to playground, our mind roam here and there, and whatever we wish, we do it. And at the night, we come to study room and tell that now we have to read this physics or something. Then this mind will obviously revolve, because it is the same mind. Swamiji says, because it is the same mind. So, whatever work we do, whatever, it may be any sort of work, it should be done with fullest possible attention. This training of this attention is the key to the power of concentration. And with that concentration, at the time of Einstein, there was a famous physicist, von Neumann, and his achievements was no less than Einstein, a very talented person. He used to tell that by the power of concentration, I can solve any problem of physics and mathematics. Really, it is true. And you must have heard the name of great scientist Kekule, who just invented the structure of benzene ring. So you must be knowing how he came to that conclusion. He was thinking very deeply for a long time, and he found it in a dream. Actually, this structure he found in a dream. So our subconscious mind has tremendous power. And whatever suggestion we give to our conscious mind, that settles down into our subconscious mind, and from there we can get anything. And our character is nothing but the result of this subconscious mind. Our mind has three levels: the conscious state, conscious mind, through which we do everything in a waking state. Another is subconscious mind. Another is superconscious mind. That is for very exalted state, very highly spiritually evolved state, this superconscious state. But for normal people, this subconscious mind is very, very important. It's like the iceberg. A very small part, the tip is being seen. It floats. But the most part, it is underwater. We cannot see. Like that, our subconscious mind, this is the sum total of our character, though we don't address to it. So it's very, very important, just before going to sleep, if we avoid the mobile phones. Just it's my request, and I experimented it to many youths also. Because before going to sleep, whatever the food, whatever suggestion we give to our conscious mind, in sleeping state, this conscious mind, it becomes switch off. Then our subconscious mind, it becomes active. And that food, with what thought waves, that the vibrations, we go to sleep, that become settled into our subconscious mind, and that become very much strong. And day by day, so in that way, that level of attention, our level of efficacy, level of creativity, everything goes down and going down. It is not a mere talk. Nowadays it is a matter of research and also a matter of concern all over the world. The human potentialities are immense. But we must use the technology. It doesn't mean that we have to avoid this, because these are very, very useful tools. But at the same time, our challenge is to keep touch with the inner silence, because Swamiji says, out of purity and silence comes the words of power. All the creativity comes through silence. And these gadgets are making us more that randomly and haphazardly oriented mentally, especially in subconscious mind, unknowingly. So this, just before going to sleep, is very, very important time for our life. And especially there should be one routine. It may sound as a sermon from a monk is just giving sermon, but many young students, they come to me and come to us, to our ashrama. Many IIT aspirants and many engineering aspirants. And when they are just preparing for that, they feel that they are lacking somewhere. The level of creativity is decreasing. And then we tell the same old thing, and it works. So, as I think 10 is over.
It's all right. You can make a
So we take, we give importance to our body, this physical exercise. At the same time, the mental exercise, this is also very, very important. But we should start very, very slowly. If we really want to have a change from today. Once I read many years back that Usain Bolt, you have heard Usain Bolt, he had some that problem in his leg, so he was in rest for 6 months. So when he started his again he resumed his practice. On the first day, he just walked, and from the third, fourth day, he started jogging very slowly. And his fullest level of practice, it came after maybe 15-20 days. Because when we are in rest, our muscles are not to that level of fitness. So if suddenly we start something, then our muscles will react. Similarly, our mind also is matter, according to the Indian philosophy, and also Western philosophy also. The greatest scientist, Schrodinger, you must have heard the Schrodinger equation. That he has also a famous book, Mind and Matter. So our mind also will revolt. If we start suddenly, now we are waking up at 8 o'clock, so suddenly we start waking up at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Next day, tremendous revolt, and then it will be 10 o'clock. So it should be, if we want to have a routine, this routine of life gives us tremendous strength and the power to overcome these things, distractions. So we start with the 15 minutes. So we are waking up at 8 o'clock. So next 3 days, 4 days, 7 days, we will wake up this 15 minute, 7:45. Next it will be our habit, then 15 minutes. In that way, so this waking up after the sun rises, according to the Indian sages, is very, very harmful for the level of our mental power, concentration. There is a sloka by the Chanakya that Sukharthina kutah vidya, vidyarthina kutah sukham. Sukharthi va vidyam tyajet, vidyarthi chet sukham tyajet. That if you seek pleasure and happiness, then one cannot be a learner, a good learner. So we have to choose between a good learner and a seeker of happiness and pleasure. Of course, we all want pleasure, but in deep concentration, in deep level of concentration, there is a tremendous pleasure. Actually, we don't have the taste of that pleasure. That's why we think that the paying fullest attention for a long time is boring. Actually, that is very, very pleasing and soothing to the mind. So, the key elements for paying attention and reaping the most, harvesting the most from our time, from our whatever task we have to train our attention, and this concentration has 3 components or 3 elements. In brief, the one is it is like laser-like focus. Second element is the holding on to that element, to the task in hand. The third element is cutting away from all other things. So if we can do all these things, and also there are another thing, that kako chesta bhako dhyanam swana nidra tathaivacha alpahari grihat tyagi vidyarthi panchalakshanam, it has been told. So what are the 5 signs, 5 the qualities that a student, a learner should have? The one is kaka chesta. In crow, they always try. You have seen that crow are always trying. They never cease. So that never ceasing endeavor, we have to always try, the perseverance. The Swamiji says that purity, patience and perseverance, these 3 are the essentials to success. Swami Ajatnanda says that 3 components. He says the purity means the purity of thought, purity of deed and purity of action, and purity of speech, and perseverance. So kako chesta and bhako dhyanam, crane, vagula hota na. So when they are searching for a fish, they are so focused, they forget everything. So that laser-like focus, bhako dhyanam swana nidra. Our sleep should be very less, like dog. And this alpahari means our food, whatever we take food, it should be less. Less means we should not be thinner and slim like that. But during the daytime we can take full meal, but at night you should take less. At least 3/4 to our stomach is enough. That will be physically also good and mentally, and it will help us to get up early also. And the 5th sign is the grihat tyagi. The grihat tyagi concept was the earlier days, when this brahmacharya, garastha, banprastha, sannyasa, these traditions are there. The students used to go to the gurus, the Gurukul system. We learn such schools and colleges also, Ramakrishna Mission. Not in Assam, we have such schools in West Bengal, in Arunachal, in South India also. So what we mean by grihat tyagi now? So all these worldly worries, the worries of these household things, it should be cut away. And these 5 are the signs of students. And we are all students, we are also learning every day, so we try to follow these things. These few things I wanted to share. There are many wisdom, and the Swami Vivekananda says another thing, that if you want to success, he says that take up one idea, make that one idea your life, think of it, dream of it, live on that idea, let your muscles, your nerves and every part of your body be full of that idea, and let every other idea put aside. And that is the way to success. So, for success we have to give attention to the 4 things. In brief, one is physical strength. We have to strong physically, intellectually. For intellectual strengthening, that deep thinking, deep study, all these things are very essential, and keeping away from this gadgets while studying. And this moral strength is very important. And there is another point I was going to miss. there is a point of prayer. That you may think, what is the necessity of prayer in this secular life? Actually, by prayer, we address to our subconscious mind. There is a famous book by Joseph Murphy. He was a famous psychologist. That the power of your subconscious mind by Joseph Murphy. You can just Google it and you can read also. And there he speaks about the power of this prayer. This is a secular thing. You do not go to church or temples or mosque. You can pray by sitting in your room also. By prayer, we address to our subconscious mind, and when we believe that our prayer will be answered, then the miracle of our subconscious mind, it starts working. The lot of the science are there behind it. I don't want to elaborate, but you may go through that book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. So the physical strength, the intellectual strength, moral strength, and spiritual strength. The spiritual strength means to get to know our true nature and being rooted to our culture, being rooted to our true culture, the Indianness. From that Indianness, you will learn many things. Nowadays, the whole world is doing research on these things. I can speak for hours on this, how these Indian things have been hijacked by the Western people, and what we call as the revolution in the 17th century. You all know about this, the industrial revolution, and the outcome was the British came to India, all these things. But actually it was the result of the translation of all the ancient scriptures, Vedas and Upanishads, everything were translated into many European languages by 16th century. Recently, the head of the ISRO, S. Somnath, he, after the Chandrayaan was landed, he acknowledged that many things are there, the scientific truths and the clues are there from which he got from our Vedas and Upanishads, including the quantum mechanics and everything. So I want to conclude because the time is now up, because you have another program at 4 o'clock. So you please pay attention to all these things, the physical strength, intellectual, moral and spiritual the strength, and read some little books on Swami Ajatnanda, get inspired and achieve whatever you want to achieve in life. Thank you all.